If you are even remotely aware of what YouTube is, then you're probably also aware of the ongoing battle between T-Series and PewDiePie for the position of the most subscribed YouTuber. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you're a lost cause. This race for subscribers started gaining traction in around September of 2018, and it's seen an entire community come together to try and help PewDiePie out. There's been posters and flyers and campaigns and petitions and music, and yet despite all the effort that everyone's gone to, T-Series is still able to keep going and is still catching up with PewDiePie. At this point in time, there's only about 11,000 subscribers between the two channels. And while no one wants to admit it, I think we all secretly know that the odds are very much stacked against PewDiePie, and it's unlikely that he'll keep his position of #1 most subscribed YouTuber forever. He's an underdog, and there's something about human nature that really likes underdogs. The idea that someone can overcome a much bigger enemy despite all odds against them, and yet, in reality, underdogs never really win. And PewDiePie is sadly no exception to this rule. However, today I'd like to argue a slightly different point regarding this whole PewDiePie T-Series battle, and I'd like to argue that PewDiePie's already won the battle, and it's got nothing to do with subscribers. To explain this properly, we're going to have to go back to the beginning, and by the beginning I mean the 29th of April 2010, when the PewDiePie channel was set up. Of course, Felix did have a channel before this that was made in December 2006. It was called Pewdie. However, he lost the password for it and so created a new channel in 2010, the channel we all know and love today. I managed to find this rather incredible screenshot from November of 2010. It's PewDiePie's channel with a mere 19 subscribers. And honestly, it's really strange looking at it, knowing just how big PewDiePie will become. PewDiePie's channel started growing in 2011 with his famous Amnesia Let's Play videos, and by 2012 July, he'd hit himself 1 million subscribers. At the start of 2013, he had 3.5 million. And on August the 25th, 2013, PewDiePie overtook the channel Smosh and became the most subscribed YouTuber on the internet. And by the end of 2013, he had himself a whopping 19 million subscribers, which is pretty impressive growth for one Swedish dude screaming at a horror game.
Alright, welcome back. I've been reviewing some of my older clips. I heard that there's gonna be even more scary parts, and I never ever thought it was gonna be more scary than that. So yeah, we got our parts, so hopefully we can fix the elevator. I'm sorry, he smells.
These are a handful of clips from PewDiePie's old Amnesia Let's Play videos, and, well, let's be honest, they're not great, are they? Like, the audio's pretty bad, so is the quality, his face cam's pretty terrible, and for the most part, these Amnesia Let's Plays weren't even edited. There are some parts where he just runs around in circles for 20 minutes trying to figure out one puzzle. And be honest with yourself here. If I came up to you in 2010 and showed you that video and told you that the man that made that video was going to become the most subscribed YouTuber with over 80 million subscribers, if I told you that in 2010, would you believe me? No, you probably wouldn't. But despite that, PewDiePie did it anyway. In the past few years, YouTube has gotten extremely corporate. Most channels these days have got a massive budget, a camera crew, a production team, and sometimes even a company, all backing them up. And because of this, we've kind of lost sight of what YouTube was originally about. And it was originally about a person, regardless of fame or wealth, simply picking up a camera, making a video, and uploading it onto the internet, and having the ability and capacity to reach an audience regardless of fame or popularity. Remember that YouTube's original slogan was broadcast yourself. PewDiePie was able to get to where he is without the aid of a massive company or budget. He was simply one guy sitting in a poorly lit room putting videos on the internet because he enjoyed it. And therefore, PewDiePie represents the original message of YouTube, the idea that you can broadcast yourself. And so therefore, theoretically, PewDiePie also represents every wannabe YouTuber's dream. The idea that you can make it to the top despite all odds with just a few stupid videos in your room. And I appreciate this sounds really obvious, but compare that to T-Series. T-Series is a nameless, faceless business YouTube channel that is only as big as it is because of its corporate power. Yes, T-Series might overtake PewDiePie in subscriber count, but the one thing it can never take is PewDiePie's message. The message he stands for. The idea of being able to just broadcast yourself. Like I said earlier, PewDiePie became the most subscribed YouTuber in August of 2013, and as of now, he's held this position for over 5 years. Now, 5 years is one hell of a long time to hold a position like this, and whether intentionally or not, PewDiePie has worked with this position almost perfectly to staple himself in as one of the most prominent figures in the YouTube community. For a start, PewDiePie is very much in the community. He's been on the platform for over 12 years now, and he understands the community inside out, and this is something good. The person that represents YouTube, the person at the top of YouTube, should understand YouTube and the environment. And it's another reason why PewDiePie makes the perfect figurehead for YouTube. And again, on the other side of the fence, compare this to T-Series. T-Series could never be in the YouTube community. T-Series could never understand the YouTube community. And it's another reason as to why T-Series has already lost this battle. Not only does he understand the community, but he's also extremely active in the community. He's constantly promoting other people's content, and he's constantly helping out much smaller channels. Channels literally thousands of times smaller than him. And the best example is Jacksepticeye. The reason Jacksepticeye is as big as he is now is because he was shouted out by PewDiePie. And this isn't the only example of PewDiePie helping out channels that are considerably smaller than him. He's collaborated and shouted out several meme channels such as Dolan Dark, Grande and Flying Kitty. He's worked with Party in the Backyard on several music tracks, which has gained Party in the Backyard a lot of support, I'm sure. And he's also shouted out other channels such as Emplemon and Pyrocynical. And when you really stop to think about it, PewDiePie wouldn't have gained much from any of this. Yes, he's made some collaborations and he's made some brilliant content in collaborating with them, but it wouldn't have gained him any substantial growth, it wouldn't have gained him any extra views per se. He simply did it because he could. It's a simple case of generosity. And that leads me on to what I believe is the biggest point in favour of PewDiePie. He's still extremely humble. Think of all he's achieved, think of all the records he's broken, think of how popular he's grown in such a short period of time, and he's still a very humble guy. He still seems very decent, very generous, very kind, and that's something that is quite rare when you reach that level. Anyone else in that situation, 9 times out of 10, would probably be corrupted and come out of it with some sort of demented god complex, but PewDiePie hasn't. And that's something else that is really quite admirable on his part. And when you put all these things together, his humble beginnings, his humility, and his general knowledge of the YouTube community, it gives PewDiePie something that T-Series can never get its hands on.
Respect.
What? No, I was going to say that. Shut up. Now, I appreciate the whole subscribe to PewDiePie campaign has become a bit of a meme at this point, and you could even argue that it was a meme from the very beginning, but ask yourself seriously, why did the whole campaign start in the first place? It's not because it would make a funny, goofy, epic meme. It's because PewDiePie is genuinely respected within the community. A joke is one thing, a meme is one thing, but actually going out in public and buying ad spaces and putting ads on billboards, that's something else. That's not just a meme. That's respect. And that's why PewDiePie has already won. That's why you could arguably say that T-Series lost on day one. And that's why sub count is no longer relevant. PewDiePie isn't just the most subscribed YouTuber anymore. He's gone beyond that. He's the figurehead of YouTube at this point. He's the face of YouTube, and he is one of the best representations of YouTube's original message. There's a big difference between being the biggest and the figurehead, and coincidentally, at the moment, PewDiePie happens to be the biggest and the figurehead. But even if PewDiePie is overtaken in subscribers, he's still the figurehead, and that's something T-Series can never take away from him, and it's something that's not going to change for a considerable amount of time. PewDiePie is the figurehead of YouTube at this point, and that's not going to change, regardless of subscriber count. But hey, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe T-Series is producing stellar content that rivals PewDiePie. What are they doing, actually? Oh. Right. An hour of romantic songs in a language I don't understand to remind me of my lack of a Valentine's date. Thanks so much, T-Series. That's basically all I've got to say on the matter. I've wanted to talk about this for a while, and now that the hype's died down a little bit, I figured it's the perfect time to do so. So, as always, thanks very much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, you can like it, you can subscribe to my channel to see more content from me, and you can check out my social medias in the description so you never miss an update from me. Any support you can throw me in my channel is massively appreciated as always. I appreciate that my upload schedule's a bit slower these days. I'm generally getting maybe one video out a week, but that's because I'm extremely busy, and I've also got a lot of projects for YouTube that I'm working on in the background. I'm still working on that album. It's about halfway finished now, and with a bit of luck there'll be a second episode of Retrospect out by the end of this month, so keep 'em peeled for that stuff, I suppose. Please watch my content. And now, children, if you'll excuse me, Mother Moocake's off to watch a PewDiePie vs T-Series sub-counter livestream for 3 hours solid. Thanks very much for watching, as always, and do remember, subscribe to PewDiePie.